Hey, what's going on? I decided to go early. Who cares, right? 4 minutes, 3 minutes. I don't mind. It's been a long time. What's up, everyone? How you doing? Is life good? I see you. There's been a few of you folks out there on the good old chat, and lots is happening here. What's up, Abdul? Good to see you once again. Right on, right on. Animal Lover for Life. Javon Holloway. Shout outs coming. Kayla, Nick F, Josh R, Prehistoric Matt. What's going on, dude? Who's this? Liz Jones, Luke, Joe, Luke Wrightson. Hey, you got to shout out 2 times, bro. Look at that. So what's going on? We had a very cool, this is just water. Don't worry. You know me, alcohol free, baby. That's some good water, let me tell you. And it is water, just in case, you haters out there think I'm lying. All right, it's water. Got to stay lubricated. So we had a really fun week. I've since got healthy again. Still have a little mucus up in the head there, but we're getting rid of that and feeling much better. Just wanted to talk a little bit about baby tortoises today, but before I do, want to bring you up to speed on all the cool things going on here at Kamp Kenan. Those of you maybe watch Brian Barchik's vlog. I happened to show up in his video today. I was up in Chicago on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. Got home late last night and was basically hanging out with my buddy, the pond guy. And we're pretty much coming together to start to really do a lot of fun collabs with animal exclusive channels. So we're gonna be doing a lot of different builds, a lot of different kind of come to you from all different places. The official announcement will be coming soon. I think you guys will be really stoked. So it was a lot of fun to be up there. I got a behind the scenes tour of the Shed Aquarium. Not a lot of filming going on for me. Tom was at home in Chicago, but in the next couple of weeks, Tom will be coming down, and we've got a whole slew of new videos that you guys will freak out about. So looking forward to that. Also, guys, don't forget to go on over to Instagram and follow along at Kamp Kenan. That's where you can see where I'm wandering around. I do a lot of the Insta stories on there and let you guys know what's going on day to day. When necessarily, I don't really do a vlog as such on the channel. I like to do more shows. I like to kind of give you shows, maybe a few Ask Kamp Kenans, things like that. But for more daily stuff, updates, go to Instagram because that's where I'm pretty active on that with photos and the Insta videos. So that's at Kamp Kenan down there. Good old Kyle, Crocodile Kyle and I'm really excited. I can't give you the official announcement, but you guys know that Kyle and I have something really big in the works. And next week, we're going to be meeting with all kinds of business types to get this thing going. So I'm super excited. Once things get all ironed out and everything's on paper, we're legal, it's going to be so much fun to announce it. I think you guys are going to freak out. I know I freaked out. And we have got some huge news for all of you guys that have been supporting us here at Kamp Kenan. You're going to love what we're going to do next. So that's all the business. As you can see, I'm hanging out here with the Kamp Kenan starter kit. This is for baby tortoises. I have a few little hatchlings I threw in here for the ease of the video, but you want to keep 1 or 2 hatchling tortoises in here. One of the things I did to kind of modify it from the original setup is I added some potting soil. These guys have a really cool mixture of the coconut bark and organic potting soil, which I've been talking about in my videos for so very long, guys. When you have baby tortoises, you mix this all together. You may be wondering, where is their hide? What I did was, and I think you guys should do this at home too, is when you add that substrate, make it nice and thick, you can actually dig some out. And I put that little half log or haba hut, they call it. I bury that and put some of the soil on top. So now you'll notice there is no way the tortoise is going to climb up on that and flip off. There's only a little tiny lip in the front, and maybe I'll switch to the other camera here in a moment, and I'll be able to show you that, okay? But really cool stuff. It's a fun way to kind of take something that most people just stick on top of the substrate. You can dig it out, and now it becomes a cave. Similar to the video that I did a few months back or a few years ago, how to build a tortoise cave, you can kind of do the same thing inside this little habitat. So I'm real happy with this habitat. It's $250 shipped. That's everything you see, plus some Repashy. We have the Repashy vitamins, and we also have the Reptile. That's $2.50 for everything you see here, except the potting soil. We can't ship that. It's kind of heavy. We wanted to make it easy for you guys. So there's humidity gauges, the ceramic heat emitter, the good old high output UVB light, and the animals are doing good in here. And I wanted to make an announcement. So we got some baby tortoises. I wanted to go through some of the baby tortoises that I actually have that are available for sale. If you guys want to help support Kamp Kenan, we got some babies. And the big news is we actually had our not our very first, but our first hatching of sulcatas for the year. It was a very small hatch. I've got a bunch more eggs that are in the incubator, but right now we did get 4 little sulcatas come on out. So I'm going to pull out the sulcatas and we'll switch. These guys are $90 plus shipping, and shipping is $60 east of the Mississippi, and it is, what is it? $70 west of the good old Mississippi. So there it is. Here's the little baby sulcatas. I got 4 of these little guys. They are brand new to planet Earth. I love them, but here's the deal, guys. You know how I do things. We want to make sure these baby tortoises go to good homes where they aren't going to be stuck indoors all the time. I'd love to see people that live in the southern parts of the United States get these animals. It's very important because they get huge, and we do not want baby sulcatas growing up to be unwanted adults. I want these animals all to have forever homes. So know what you are getting into. So I'm talking about sulcatas right now. They're so beautiful. They're incredibly personable, fun little tortoises if you want to raise up, but they will grow fast. They will get big. So don't think because they are the least expensive tortoises out there that you're going to buy one and, oh, I'll get a home in a few more years. I'll have a house with a backyard. You guys really need to make sure that you have the proper housing ready because they grow fast. In about 5 years, you're going to have a tortoise that's going to be living outdoors. And in about 10 years, you could potentially have a 100-pound tortoise. But look at the perfect little eyes, perfect little face on these guys. And you can see they are brand new. There's their umbilicus is closing up. But these guys are bulletproof. They're fantastic tortoises, and definitely something that I love to breed. There are a lot of them out there, but you know what? It's a success story because in Africa, so many of the tortoises that are in Africa are being taken. The adults are being wiped out and taken for the pet trade to go to China. And you know what? A few years back in the United States, they actually stopped the importation of sulcata tortoises. So the only sulcatas you can get were born here in the United States. And there are more sulcatas in the United States than there are in Africa. And unfortunately, as I mentioned, many of those animals are being taken out of the wild. So always buy, captive born animals. So I ship next day, FedEx via Ship Your Reptiles in insulated shipping containers with heat pads. So, we've still got the cold weather out there. I don't ship if it's below 40 degrees where you're at, but here are some babies right now, beautiful animals. They are 90 plus shipping. Shipping is $60 east of the Mississippi, and it is $70 west of the Mississippi, and that is next day, and you go right there. So there you go, man, some sulcatas. The Greek tortoise and that I have a Greek tortoise, I have a leopard tortoise. Those tortoises have already been promised. So let's go grab another tortoise. Well, before I do, let's answer some questions. What's going on? How about, let's see, young man. My young man is on Cyprus, Tessa Miles. That's cool. Cyprus is good. You can mix it with a little potting soil, but no worries. Who else is out there? Stephanie Lopez says, hi, Ken, and how long can a baby sulcata be turned over on its back for? One day I came home and found my baby on its back. I'm glad he or she was okay. Thanks for all the helpful info. Well, thanks for watching, Stephanie. As far as, keeping your tortoise upside down, or not keeping it upside down, but when it goes upside down, what you want to do is, it depends. To answer your question, it depends, because what will happen is when they're little like that, they won't have as much pressure on their lungs. It's that when they get larger, their intestines and organs grow larger and will certainly affect their lungs, and they can asphyxiate. What will happen is they're upside down for a very long time. They'll defecate to try and lessen the pressure on their lungs by voiding the contents of their digestive tract. But when they're babies, the real danger is if they get flipped over underneath the heat source. That's when they can kind of overheat. I've seen baby tortoises upside down. You know, I've come home and seen some upside down. I don't know how long they've been like that. Most will right themselves. Others will just stay upside down. I flip them, and then I just do a check and make sure that the furniture inside of the tortoise enclosure is kind of tortoise proof. And that's why I did what I did here. Let me see. I'm going to get a little creative, guys. Let's see if I can just give you an idea. I'm going to see if I can show you with the FaceTime camera what I did with this enclosure. It might be a little difficult, so just hang with me. Good. All right, so down in here, you guys see the, right there, you see the habahut? They call it a habahut. Yeah, I got some hibiscus in here that they're nibbling on. But I basically dug it down and I buried it, and now there's a little hill. And so the only part they could potentially flip off of is that front. But tortoises have pretty good depth perception. I notice a lot of the baby tortoises, when you keep the little half log on the surface of the substrate, so many of them climb up it or try and climb it, and that's how they're flipping upside down. So by burying this, we eliminate that possibility. Plus, you also create more of a natural kind of burrow. You see that? It's kind of like a natural burrow because it's dug into the ground. So that's just what I've got going on for those guys. I hope maybe you guys will like that. In order to do that, you're going to need a bit more substrate. So go get some potting soil, mix it in with the coconut bark that we supply with the kit, and you'll have a really nice deep substrate that you can bury that habahut in. Let's get back to that wide shot. I'm going to bring out some more tortoises so you guys can see them. Lots on here today. Super excited. It's a little chilly out too, which is kind of a bummer. Everybody's kind of been inside, so I'm excited to be hanging out with you guys inside myself because it's a little chilly out today. It's kind of a bummer. Hold on one second. I need to keep that, keep drinking water because I've been having like headaches from all the good old sneezing and congestion, so I gotta stay lubricated. I'm gonna disappear for a second, guys, but I'm not really gone. I'm just playing with tortoises over here. I'm gonna grab a few. We're gonna grab the next type of tortoises that I wanted to share with you guys that I'm really happy about that have showed up since we last spoke. We've got some baby elongated tortoises. I wonder, do you guys like it better when I come on up to here? But then I can't really see what you're saying. But here are some babies, and you can see they're highly variable. This guy here is real dark. He's got a lot of dark on his shell, but here are some of the lighter ones that I produce. I'm going to walk over here, and I'm going to hang out with Yiz. Yiz, that's my New York coming out. Hang out with Yiz. Don't you go anywhere, dude. So hold on. Let's see what's happening. Let's switch it to the FaceTime camera so we can all see up close. So here we go. So I even get baby tortoises that are even lighter than this, usually later in the hatching season. We're really into the hatching season now, but these are baby elongated tortoises. I love them. Look at the difference in the shells, really variable. But I love baby elongated tortoises. Some of you that follow for a long time will know that I rave about elongated tortoises. So we dropped into the high 40s last night. The adults of this species, I do not pull in, I leave them be. These guys can take the cooler temperatures. I'm not talking hibernation, I'm talking cool temps. So it went up into the 70s today, and they're out sunbathing and still eating and doing whatever. So as adults, these guys can take cooler temperatures as long as it warms up again during the day. And you have to make sure that you have a lot of leaf litter for them to burrow into. But they are animals that are found over extremely wide range in Southeast Asia, and you will find these up in elevation, which means the higher you go, the cooler it gets, so they can take it. Very, very beautiful tortoises. You'll find them nibbling on hibiscus. I have some hibiscus flowers and leaves in their enclosure right now. They love high humidity. I give them good soaks, mist them down a few times a day or once a day. These guys also like canopy, so they're not baskers that are going to bask in direct sun. They do most of their thing kind of in between the trees. When the sun shines through the leaves in the trees, these guys are going to be basking. They also will look for different fungi. They move the leaves around searching for earthworms from time to time. They'll eat dead animals. But you can pretty much feed them a wide variety of green leafy veggies and so on. Let's see. We have another question from DJ Reptiles. Let's go ahead and answer that. How often should I put supplement calcium and multivitamin for a rush and I'm getting a baby? All right, for baby tortoises, what I like to do is every other feeding, you sprinkle some of the multivitamin and you sprinkle some of the Reptile on their food. What's cool about these guys is I like this because it comes with a little, almost like a salt shaker, so you can kind of tap the bottom and sprinkle it out on their food. And then the same thing with the Reptile. You just sprinkle it, give it a light dusting. But like I said, every other feeding, which for me, I'll feed these guys every other day. But if you were to put the supplement on twice a week, I think that would be a good rule of thumb. Certainly if you're feeding your baby tortoises a little bit every single day, that's kind of cool for you to do. So twice a week is going to be good. And I think that works out nicely for them. These guys are pretty voracious eaters. You're also going to see baby tortoises hide a lot, guys. A lot of people ask me, oh my God, my tortoise is hiding. Well, you got to think about it. That's why, when we were talking about this enclosure, some people thought it was too small. The reality is for 1 or 2 baby tortoises, the startup setup is actually good because you don't want something too big because the tortoise isn't going to utilize it anyway. They're just going to find a little spot, hide, come out, wander around when there's food or after a little misting, and then they're going to eat. You basically want it big enough to where they can wander in and out of a warm area and a cool area and have a place for them to feel secure and hide. And this will help you monitor their growth. You can monitor their health easier. It's just an easier way to raise baby tortoise because in the wild, most of the babies, they wander to a plant. They'll find a plant, they'll hide under that, and then they'll live near that area just to nibble on their food. And as they grow, they get a little bit more adventurous. But tortoises don't have giant ranges. They're creatures of habit. And that's why they're in such trouble all over the world because they create these home ranges, turtles and tortoises, and then we, through habitat fragmentation, screw it all up by building homes and roads and so on, that these tortoises lose their way. We change what they've come to grow accustomed to, and they may lose their food sources, they may lose their water source, and that's why it's very difficult for tortoises to adapt to new environments. Can be done, but it is difficult. Let's see, what else we got here? Any other questions? Oh, hey, yeah, all right, let's talk about the babies here. These guys here are 150 plus shipping on the elongated tortoises, but they do not get large. And it's kind of a funny thing. What you invest in them today, I mean, 150 plus the shipping seems like a lot of money. But remember, these animals, when raised properly, will live a very long time. 50, 60 years is not uncommon. They also don't get large. They stay handleable, so I think they're a better tortoise for keeping up north in a decent sized tortoise table. I would do a 6x6 tortoise table for one adult, and then go 8x8 for a or 8x6 for a pair. So I just think they're fantastic. I love them. Lots of personality. They all come over to me. Check out some of the videos. Go searching back there in the back catalog to see the adults. Really, really cool tortoises. So I love those guys. So again, people asking about starter tortoises. I really think there aren't a lot of these out there. And I do think they are one of the best starter tortoises because they are hardy, because of what they eat, and because of their requirements. It's really, really easy to care for these guys if you just listen to the videos and do a little research. And there you have it. So they're really cool. I love these guys. So here we go. Yeah, they do have yellow heads, Christopher Supper. Yeah, you know that. When they get older, another interesting thing about these tortoises is when they do, in fact, start to become sexually mature, the male's heads will turn pink. So that's interesting. But they also call these the yellow-headed turtle. But they are really unique, really fun. And I can't say enough good things about them. So there you go. I'm just blowing the substrate that's falling on the computer off. Let's see. Kayla Basha. I know you were talking about tortoises, but I have a question about snakes. What temp should I keep my heater at? 60, 65, 70, 75, 80 because it's been cold here. I would split the difference. I don't know what species of snake you're talking about, but I would go ahead and keep it in the 70s, low to mid 70s at night, and then under the hot spot. Again, I don't know what species you're talking about. You want to raise that into the 90s. So there you go. Austin Kent, these guys here will live 50, 60 years, and it's not uncommon to reach 80 years of age. So let's switch back. I'll go back to the wide, and let's grab a couple more tortoises out that are currently available here at Kamp Kenan. We'll talk about them, and we'll just keep this party rolling right along. I do have 4 of the really cool elongateds ready. Here's another elongated who's just going to town. Look at this guy. This guy was going to town on some hibiscus. But look at that, really cool black in the on these scutes here, and then on the marginals he's really light. So again, they're just really highly variable. This guy's awesome. He's been caught in the act of eating hibiscus, but they're just active, healthy, moving about. So I'm really excited. All right, cool, man. I got some cherry heads as well, guys. I got little cherry heads here. Love these tortoises, as you all know. I'm just rinsing this guy off. Here's some baby cherry heads. These guys are unique, really special turtles. This guy right here, the cherry heads are $250. This guy's got some extra scutes, so the extra scute guy I'll do for $200. I really am not. It doesn't bother me with extra scutes, but here's some cherry heads. Let's go over here so we can talk cherry heads. I have a bunch more cherry head eggs incubating, and they should hatch any day now. Again, this is another really cool species because they don't get large. They stay small, and they are hardy. They are beautiful. Look at the plastrons. Here's how you know what a cherry head is. Do you see that? You see how the black along the seams of their scutes on the plastrons? That's how you know, as opposed to a regular redfoot, okay? It's kind of difficult to tell from the top, although I do find that they have more of a distinct pattern on the shells, like real contrast between the light and dark. But when you flip them upside down, look at that. All right, that's how you know it's a cherry head, that real dark plastron. These guys are beautiful, as you can see. They got a little dirt on them, but this is, you can even see the egg tooth still right there. See, against my nose, a little contrast. So there's the egg tooth, and they're beautiful. This one here is a crazy legs, but this tortoise has been sold. Let me just grab the other cherry head. Hold on. This tortoise was sold, so I don't want to show anyone that tortoise and freak is all out because it's not for sale. That one was sold. That's crazy legs. It's got just crazy. He has really nice, serious color. But here's another one with beautiful coloration. They have the red legs. They'll keep that red head. Very, very fun. Let's see. Some questions. Hi, Marquise Robinson. Kenan. What's up? Paul, Cafaro, Snyder, me here. Sent you here and to subscribe. Thank you, Nelvin, someone. I like Paul. He lives not too far away from me. He's a really cool dude, and we're going to do some more fun videos with him as well. Kenan, let's talk about extra scutes. Is it genetic or incubation? A lot of people say that it's the incubation temperature. So it doesn't harm these animals at all. You can see extra scute there. There's an extra scute there and there. So these guys are both $200 plus shipping. The extra scutes do not hurt these animals at all. It does not make them weaker or more prone to being sick. It just means that they got extra scutes. I like to say they've been touched by an angel. So there you have it. They're just a little bit different. Some people really like it. So anyway, these guys here are $200 plus the shipping. As I mentioned, the shipping is $60 east of Mississippi and $70 west of Mississippi. That's next day via FedEx, via Ship Your Reptiles. I use Ship Your Reptiles, all their good products. So I really like those guys. Also, contact me at kampkenan@gmail.com if you guys are interested. I'll send you instructions how to order. So there's, it's a first come, first serve thing. The first people that, usually these things go quickly. They go ahead and email me. I get back to you, and that's how we do it. Let's see. Joshua Mays just got a baby leopard tortoise, recommended substrate, temps, and humidity. All right, well, listen, you really should have done your research prior there, Josh, but I'll go ahead and I'll tell you what I think. We got a little baby, we got a baby in here. Where is he? There he is. He's kind of wandering around over here. But let me just finish about these guys real quick. These are the cherry heads. You can see them. Yippity-doo. Let me go grab this little baby leopard out that's already been sold. The leopard is already sold, everybody. But I'm going to go and pull them out right now so y'all can see a baby leopard up close. And we'll talk a little bit about temps, humidity, and all that stuff. Leopard tortoises are from sub-Saharan Africa, down the east coast of Africa, all the way down into South Africa. Isn't this guy beautiful? So this guy's been around for a couple months. Really, really beautiful. I like to keep their ambient temperature in the 70s at night, 80s during the day, and then I keep their basking area. You want to keep that between 95 and 105 degrees, really hot. When they bask, they want to raise their temperature up pretty quick. So that's pretty important, okay, guys? You've got to make sure they have a warm basking area because that's what's going to stimulate them and aid them in metabolizing their food, bringing that body up to the temps they need in order to get that food going, all right? So these guys are really cool. You know, they're not a tortoise when you're back east. You got to make sure you buy baby leopard tortoises from the area that you're in. In other words, if you live in the southeastern United States, it's very humid here. If you get a baby tortoise from a breeder out in Arizona, more often than not, those tortoises don't acclimate to our high humidity and they die. Likewise, it's challenging if you get a baby tortoise that's from a high humidity area and bring it out to the desert without properly acclimatizing it. But it is easier to acclimatize them to desert life than it is to bring a desert tortoise, or one not necessarily a desert tortoise, but a tortoise that was raised in a more dry climate out to the very crazy deal. How long are they considered babies, and when should you stop worrying so much about them being delicate? You know, so many people say that baby tortoises are delicate. It's so funny, Tessa. I don't ever think they're delicate. I think if you are doing the proper diet, if you are, you know, making sure they're eating right, if you're giving them the right supplements like we talked about earlier in the video, if you have the right setup for them, the temps are right, they're not delicate. Obviously, you know, when a tortoise is just born, there is the possibility that, you know, you got to remember reptiles have lots of babies. And just because they have lots of babies does not mean all the babies survive. In fact, most of the babies in the wild get eaten, but there are a few babies that are born. I've had babies die in the egg as they're breaking out, whether it be from some of the egg fluid drying over their nares, their nostrils, and suffocating, or they're just so weak that they basically were born to be food for something else. There is something called failure to thrive. I like to hold on to my animals until I know they're eating. Once I know they're eating, then I know that these animals have the will to live, if you will. So it's pretty cool. So there is the baby leopard. Oh, and as far as them being, you know, delicate, what I would say is, when can you put a tortoise outside, like a leopard or sulcata or any one of these? You want to make sure they've got some size on them and the shells have hardened. So it takes a couple of years, but you can see this is nice. This one's firming up nicely. This animal's going out to someone who had purchased it in advance. We have some more leopard eggs, hopefully hatching soon. If not, I'll definitely have some more in the fall. And it's just, for whatever reason, man, leopards, everyone loves them. I love them. They're really beautiful. They make great pets. They're a medium-sized tortoise. Some of these can grow to about 50 pounds if you have the right subspecies, which scientists are now, they don't even classify subspecies anymore. But the reality is there are some that grow very large. And the Babcocki, which is what I'm holding here, that get about a medium-sized tortoise, maybe more like 25, 30 pounds. There you go. What else do we got here? Who else is hanging out? Oh, boy, I don't know. How long, Tessa Miles is asking also, how long before you can sex a tortoise? Well, without buying a $10,000 endoscope, which goes, it's actually, I forget the real name. They do these, I think it's a laparoscope, something. It's a very small tube that they can actually look inside the cloaca of baby tortoises and see the sex organs. We can't do that. I ain't got the money, so I gotta wait. about 6, 7 years before these guys put some weight on and I can properly tell. I don't temperature sex these tortoises. I just do a mid-range incubation so they all come out in a 50-50 split or thereabout. So there you have it. You really, it's about 6, 7 years, or you got to get them up to about 10 pounds before you can really start sexing them. With the Aldabras and Galops, you can't accurately sex them until they're close to 200 pounds. How do you like that? However, Nostradamus is a male because I got lucky and he showed me why he's a male, if you know what I mean. All right, cool. How can you order the tortoise, Nelly and Kayla? Just go to kampkenan@gmail.com and say, I'd like a tortoise. I'll send you the list and they'll have the instructions on how to order it. Basically, you're gonna go right to my PayPal. You're gonna check with me, make sure that your availability is there. Then you send the payment via PayPal, and I'll be shipping these animals. Any orders I get today, the animals will be shipped on Monday, unless you otherwise specify you want it shipped at a later date. So that means by Tuesday, you'll have these tortoises that I was showing you, except not this one, because he is sold. So there you have it, everybody. A little bit on baby tortoises. I'm gonna go back to the wide, and we'll talk a little bit about the about some questions. I can help you guys out in the last remaining moments here of the good old live podcast. Again, we got some fun things going on. Don't forget, Kyle and I working hard. I'm really excited about that. Kyle wants to do a sanctuary. You'll see what I'm talking about. Kyle and I are going to join forces. It's going to be fun. We got to just get all the contracts all figured out and dialed, and it should be a lot of fun. So I'm excited. So basically, when we're ready to announce the official name of the sanctuary and where it's located and when it's going to be ready, you'll hear from me. So I'm excited about that. What else is going on? The fish are doing good. We got our cichlids. They're doing well. Like I said, I was hanging out with Brian Barczyk. We were at the Shed Aquarium yesterday. Beautiful fish. They actually have, if you're ever in Chicago, go check out the Shed Aquarium because they have more than just fish. They had anacondas, they had caiman there, they had some sailfin dragons, which I was excited about, different dart frogs, emerald boas, tree boas, that is. Beautiful. They had some cool turtles, guys. They had actually some really unique South American species, Podicnemis expansa, or the Aru river turtle. Huge freshwater river turtle from South America. Very, very interesting species, as well as Joffrey's side neck turtles, which is something that I have as well here. Okay, so yes, Chris for supper. Look at you with your Cyclura. Yes, they did. They had some Cubans and they had some blues. They also had mountain horn dragons, which I thought was really cool. So the Shed Aquarium is a really, really fun place, and it was neat. I met Judith yesterday, one of our Kamp Kenan Army members. She was at the Shed Aquarium, so it was nice to see her. Hey guys, if you ever bump into me out there in the wild, so to speak, make sure you come up and say hello to me. I'll take a photo with you. We'll hang out. We'll talk for a little bit. So it's a lot of fun, man. Brian was getting swarmed. I got to say some nice things, man. I really like Brian. I've known Brian a long time. Brian is doing a lot of good things. He's really going to be doing a lot, changing his collection, the way he keeps things. He's really excited. He's inspired to kind of create more naturalistic habitats. So what we're doing here on Kamp Kenan is definitely, it's reverberating out there in the reptile community. So I'm happy about that. Brian's also really, really cool. I really enjoyed the way that he interacted with his fans. He must have been stopped like 10 times. And he was a really nice guy, gave those kids the time of day. That's important. It's just important, man. We want to see more young people get excited about these animals. So what did I say? I said I was going to answer some questions. I'm talking too much. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Yes, they had Arapaima, huge Arapaima. Let's see. And that was Josh Stritchfield. So it was really fun. Francisco Tiexera, hi from South Florida. Let me get a drink. Hold on. It's good. Let's see. Here's a question. I like this question. Ufi K. Should I have a long, light UVB tube over the whole enclosure or a smaller UVB light just over the basking spot for my leopard tortoise indoor enclosure? I like to go, as you see with the starter kit, guys, we have, this is the one that we could ship easily. it fits this, it broadcasts the light over a large area. I like the natural light being broadcast over as much of the area as possible, because if the tortoise is out wandering around in the daylight, what's happening? He is being irradiated by those UVB rays, just by process of being out in the sun. And then what we do is we got the heat emitter, and this is the warm area. So this is the way that we didn't want to do overkill by having two lights, a basking light and a UVB light. I thought this worked really well. We're creating heat because basically the reptiles are getting a couple of things from the sun. They're getting the UVB, which is helping their bones be nice and strong, and they're synthesizing the vitamin D into calcium. And then they're also getting heat from the sun, and that heat from the sun is just raising their metabolic temperature. They're helping with their metabolic processes. So we're just saying, here's the infrared. That'll raise their temperature. They'll bask under it, but they're still getting the UVB from this large output UVB light. So I would go with the long tubes. I like those better. Yes, irradiated reptiles. I got to get to your, here's the funny thing. So Christopher Supper sent me a Gamma movie, and that's another irradiated reptile. And I don't really have a DVD player, man. I got to hook up my PlayStation so I can watch that with the kid. I will get to it, Chris, and I do appreciate the gift, man. So there you have it, everybody. Is there a way to know the age of my tortoise? Yeah, Christopher Konstantoulakis. Konstantoulakis. That is a Greek last name. Let me tell you. There's no real way to know, it's a guesstimation. If you see the tortoise, it's a Greek tortoise about that big, and you see that the carapace has been worn down, you can guess it's an older individual, upwards of 20 years. I really, not just by looking at them, I can't tell you. It's one of those things I guesstimate, like I've been around tortoises so long, that if their shells are worn smooth, it's an older animal. And so by the size, it's an educated guess unless you raise that animal up. There is absolutely no way to know. It's not like you can cut tortoises in half and count their rings. Don't advise doing it. We want to keep tortoises in one hole. There you have it, everybody. We're just hanging out. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to take another sip here, and we'll do our outro, which I think, I think this was an informative live. What do you guys think? I mean, we learned a little bit about baby tortoises. You've seen the setup now. It's working out well. Pretty happy about that. They're moving about in there. Look at this. Oh, man, I wish you guys could see this cute little son of a gun. Hold on. This is awesome. This is a little baby Sulcata tortoise, brand new to planet Earth. And this little dude is basically, he already walked out of the water bowl. He was doing like the big boys. He was taking the water and he was splashing it up on himself. It was awesome, man. So there are the babies, baby tortoises. I love them, man. Again, even with your sulcatas and desert species, we like to keep a little bit of water in there for them. They will use it. So there you have it. All right, everyone. Kenan signing off here soon. Don't forget to go to Instagram @Kamp Kenan, and that's what we do. Go to @Kamp Kenan at the Instagram. Follow along on there if you guys don't mind. And all right, what else? Subscribe to the channel. We are building an army, and we are building a sanctuary, a proper sanctuary that we will be able to take donations and have people come check us out. I am really, really thrilled. But you didn't hear that yet because I'm keeping that quiet until it's time to announce the name and everything. What else? Videos as well. Go to Kamp Kenan Army, subscribe to the channel, and there'll be instructions about how you guys can go on over to Patreon, and you can become a Patreon supporter, which helps us out immensely, make videos, keep the animals going here, and basically keep the channel rocking along. And then you can upload your own videos to our channel. We want to see how you care for your animals. We're looking for creative enclosures. And the best video that we receive for the month, the most views, we will send you a free Kamp Kenan t-shirt for hanging out with us. And it's a lot of fun. So thank you very much. All right, guys, I am on my way. Where am I on my way? I'm on my way outside. I want to see how the animals are doing in their boxes. And I think Kate is maybe even here with the kids kind of hiding out because I'm talking. So there it is. In my solo cup, you will find water. And what else? That's it. I had a good time today. Really did. Think we learned a lot. Looking forward to next week. Kyle and I are going to be looking for fish, but we're going to meetings, and that's it. All right, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you again on another video. Another video. Bye-bye.